Do you ever feel like manifestation is just another thing on your to-do list that you don't have time for? Like your spiritual practice is something that you have to do? Honestly, you're not alone because I felt that way too. Something that's really changed my relationship with manifestation is blending it into my lifestyle so that no matter what I'm doing, I'm also manifesting. I call this manifestation as a lifestyle, and it's single handedly made the entire manifestation journey more enjoyable for me. And I've seen my desires show up with a lot more ease. Manifesting as a lifestyle has made manifestation go from feeling like a task to something I just naturally do because it's who I am. If you'd like to learn more about this, I've created a step by step guide for you. I'll link it in my show notes so you can check it out.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Affirmation Addict podcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about inner child healing and reparenting ourselves and what that really looks like and why it's super important. So, if this is something you've been working on, I know this episode is going to serve you well. So, enjoy, and I'll talk to you soon. You're listening to the Affirmation Addict podcast with Payal Agarwal. This podcast will teach you about the power of affirmations while making manifestation easy and accessible for you in order to enhance your spiritual consciousness. Thank you so much for being here, and I'm so excited to dive into today's episode. Actually, wait, before we get started, I wanted to check with you. Have you heard about my new app? It's called Affirm It, and it's your one-stop shop for all things affirmations, manifestation, and self-healing. I really have been wanting to create something for you that truly empowers you to realize that you genuinely have everything you need within you. You don't need me. You don't need any other coaches. This app genuinely has everything you need to get that life that you've been trying to manifest. And it has gentle daily reminders, guided audio affirmations, sleep affirmations, affirmation reminders, and so much more good information, good energy, and so many things that I know will help you manifest your dreams. Because I'm so grateful for you, I'm actually offering you a free 7-day trial. And this is a genuine 7-day trial. That means you don't have to type in your credit card. You won't be automatically charged. There's no ads, and you get complete access to the app as if you've already subscribed to it. So if you do want to learn more about the app, head over to affirmation-addict.com/app, or if you're ready to dive in, head over to the iTunes App Store and search for Affirm It. The Android version will be coming soon, and as soon as it's ready, I'll be sure to let you know. Now we can officially dive into today's episode. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm really excited to just dive really deep into the world of my interpretation of inner child healing and reparenting, because to me, this work is so powerful. And from my experience and just everything I've learned on my journey, I have seen the effects of it. And I'm really excited to share with you why they work and a few ways I enjoy doing it. There's thousands of methods, meditations, affirmations you can choose from already, but I really wanted to share with you why this work is so important. And so, diving right in, the reason inner child work and reparenting work is super powerful for if you're in the situation where you want to reprogram your beliefs or rewire your mind or just change your reality. The reason is that our subconscious minds are developed heavily from when we are ages 0 to about 7. So after age 7, your subconscious mind really stays quite the same until you come to my podcast, come to my page, come to the app, and start to do a lot of work to reprogram your beliefs. Up until then, if you're living life quite fairly normally, quote unquote, where you're not doing too much of the inner work, you're more so just going through living life, figuring yourself out, we're not working on reprogramming, reframing, or rewiring our subconscious minds. So to put it into layman's terms, what that means is our subconscious minds are almost unchanged after we're 7 years old. And for me, that is why inner child work is so powerful, because we're essentially operating from our subconscious minds from the 7-year-old or younger version of ourselves. Now, why, to reiterate, is the subconscious mind important? Because your subconscious mind is where all
of your belief systems, all of your values, all of your core beliefs and the way you operate and your truths, your stories about how things are and why things are the way they are. Those are rooted in your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is actually what's in charge of your manifestations and creating your reality. So to just give it full circle, we repeat affirmations in order to change our subconscious minds, because repetition is what changes our subconscious. So we say affirmations to change our subconscious mind, which will ultimately change the way we are experiencing and living in our realities, because our beliefs on a foundational, fundamental level will start to change. So that is why this work is so powerful, because your inner child is really heavily rooted in your subconscious mind. And so I hope that explanation gave you a really solid understanding and gave you confidence as to what we do with inner child work and why we reparent it. And that's just one aspect relating it to manifestation. I do believe there's so many other things that relate to inner child healing and reparenting, because who we are is heavily rooted in our childhood. And so from a quantum physics perspective, law of attraction perspective, I relate that to the subconscious mind, but there's also so many traumas that we don't remember. There's so much that goes into inner child work and reparenting, but I personally love working on it from the perspective of just reframing my foundational beliefs with my subconscious, and that's what really resonates with me. There's absolutely more ways to think about it, more definitions and more reasons why inner child work and reparenting is super powerful, but for the sake of what works for me and what I am really good at, I relate it to the subconscious mind and manifestation, because you're able to work with and change your foundational beliefs as well as heal them and understand why you are the way you are, rather than just really trying to go for it and heal your inner child but not knowing why. So I think it's really important to understand why it impacts you and how it impacts you, because it is such a big part of who we are, because our subconscious mind is literally the lens through which we live our reality. So that's me nerding out a little bit over our subconscious, our inner child, and how they're all connected, and kind of diving a little bit deeper into reparenting. Reparenting can sound a little mean sometimes. It sounds a little bit harsh, but it's really not. Reparenting does not mean you are shaming or blaming your parents. It does not mean that at all. It's just another way of telling your inner child that you are the authority over them today, because your inner child is something that is so alive within you from an energetic perspective, and normally they're just really craving love and attention. If you think about it, when we're little, all we want from our parents or from anybody around us is that love and attention, and truly that doesn't change. Think about it right now. Most of us are trying to manifest our soulmates or are trying to manifest some version of success, which truly equivalates and boils down to a version of love and a version of appreciation. And so those core needs and base habits don't change too much over time. And so if you can start to work on the past realities you've experienced, like your inner child, or just reparenting yourself, you are able to start to change the relationship with the love you want now or the attention you want now. You'll be able to understand it much, much better. And so just to clarify, reparenting doesn't mean you are disassociating yourself with your parents, doesn't mean they did anything wrong. It is just another way of looking at inner child work, and it's giving your current self the authority over the inner child energy that lies within you. And so for me, a few things that I do to work with my inner child is, first, I know it sounds so crazy, but I just try and have a conversation with it. I know it's not easy to just sit there and talk if you've never done this before. So what I've done is, in the app, I've created a meditation for you to work with your inner child. And there's also a guide in there to show you my favorite technique, which I will share on the podcast today. But the meditation is a really good tool to use use if you want to open up a conversation with your inner child, but need some extra guidance. For me, I just call upon the energy of my inner child by just saying, hey, inner child, I'm ready to listen to you. So if you want to take that on your own, please try. There can be no harm if you give yourself the opportunity to just speak to your inner child, talk to them, and hear them. You can just literally start up a conversation with them. And if you think about it too much, it will feel like nothing's coming up. But if you just let it flow, whether it's in your mind or in your journal, you'll be surprised at how much comes to you. It's really, really powerful stuff. It's kind of like a piece of you that you didn't give attention to. And all of a sudden, just by acknowledging the very existence of it, you've opened up such beautiful doors. And you get to learn a lot more about why you are the way you are and what you really need out of life, and just the journey that you're on. So it's really powerful if you just sit in a quiet, comfortable place and say, hey, inner child, what are you trying to tell me? What can I learn from you? How are you? Literally talk to the energy of your inner child mentally or in your journal like it's a friend. And if you need some help, if that sounds a little far-fetched, I do have a meditation in the app to help guide you through this activity and just to facilitate that conversation. So if that's something of interest, go download Affirm It, or if you already are a subscriber, just hop into the app. It should be right there for you. Now, if you want a more written activity, my favorite journaling activity is actually writing a letter to my inner child. And on a similar page, it's something that you don't need to overthink. It's something that you don't need to have the perfect script for. It just really flows, and it can change depending on where you are in your life right now. And so I really recommend grabbing a journal and just writing a letter to your inner child with the intention of speaking to your childhood self and trying to tell it what you wish you knew now. That's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is just talking to your inner child and consoling them, giving them love, or giving them whatever you think intuitively with your gut instinct what your inner child might need. There's no right answer to this. There's no wrong answer. You can't mess this up. So don't doubt yourself during this process. Just have fun with it and try, because I really think it's powerful to just explore these avenues and look into different aspects of our minds and our souls and our hearts. It's really, really fun. So I think it's a powerful way for you to just have a deeper connection with a version of yourself that is existing energetically within you. And so those are my two favorite ways, is to have a conversation with my inner child. What does it need? How are you? What can you tell me? What do you want me to know? What do you need these days? Or write a letter to your inner child and tell your inner child what you know now. Write a letter to your childhood self. Those kind of journal prompts, whichever one resonates with you, is going to be super helpful. And if you need a written version, once again, this document is in the app as well. And I also give you an example about my inner child letters I've written. So if you want an example or something to just go off of and give you an idea of what it looks like, I have some examples in the app with a few more journaling prompts in there for you. And so inner child work, reparenting ourselves, is just to reclaim your relationship with your inner child. And for me, I really view it as another way to view your relationship with your subconscious mind. I love looking at it like I'm talking to a very powerful entity that rules my subconscious mind. So I am able to work with my inner child, and in turn, that helps me reframe my subconscious mind too. And so speaking of reframing, a lot of affirmations I do are actually for my inner child. And I like to think of the kind of shorter, simpler affirmations as the ones for my inner child, because thinking of it, children generally need shorter, to the point, and too many fluffy big words don't really help them, right? And so for my inner child, my top affirmations are: I am safe, I am loved, I am worthy, I am okay, and I am doing great things. Those are the words that really resonate with me for my inner child. But you can pick your own, and you can even say it in the form of you are safe, you are loved, you are doing great things. So it can be whichever one you resonate with. Like if you're having a conversation with your inner child, I would use you. But if you are just repeating affirmations to help heal your inner child or to help open up your inner child, then I would use it in the form of I, because your inner child in the end is a part of you still. So those are the top 5 affirmations I really use for my inner child work, and you can repeat them as many times as you want. If you're feeling like something is triggering you from your childhood or with your family, just pick one of them. Say I am safe in your heart just 5 to 10 times and just watch your energy shift. I can almost promise you that your energy will just be a little more at ease, a little more calm, and a little more comfortable if you can repeat to yourself, I am safe in a moment of triggering, in a moment of about to downward spiral. That I believe will really, really help you. And so pick one of those 5 affirmations that resonates with you and make it your affirmation. Make it your kind of go-to affirmation while you're working through your inner child and working with your inner child. And another question I get asked about inner child work and reparenting is that does it ever end? And my opinion and with my experience so far, no, it doesn't ever end, because that relationship in my heart is always there. So I always will have a relationship with my inner child, and I'll always have a relationship with that version of me. So this kind of quote unquote work might not end, but it doesn't mean that's a bad thing or that you're not doing enough. It just really means that you are continuously strengthening and working on that relationship with love, because I think it's a beautiful thing to acknowledge that in our reality, there are thousands of different possibilities and versions of us. So I just like to think of my inner child as one version of me. My little girl self with the bob cut and super short hair, I just think of her because sometimes I remember how much joy she had or how cute she was, and it makes me really happy. So I don't really want that relationship to end. But if your relationship with your inner child isn't serving you, you get to make that decision. And so my short answer to the question is no, that relationship and this work doesn't end, so to speak, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Inner child work can be fun. I think it's really fun. At first, it brought up a lot, but once I was able to work through and work with my inner child through different traumatic experiences by talking to her and writing letters to her and writing letters from her to me, I was able to open my eyes a lot and change the way I see things. And so I really believe that inner child work and reparenting is monumental, especially when you are trying to manifest. And if you're wondering how this at all relates to manifestation, it's because, once again, our inner child lies in our subconscious. And the more you can heal and open up and reframe your subconscious, the more you'll open up, heal, and reframe your current reality, what you see in front of you and what you're manifesting. And so if you are able to work with your mind, work with your inner child, and just reparent her or him, you're able to open up a whole new avenue. You're able to have a whole new awareness walking into different situations and being able to manifest on a whole new level. It clears up things that you've been holding on to in your heart that might be subconsciously lowering your vibration. So this really helps you understand why I am the way I am, how am I healing, and it opens you up energetically and it really raises your vibration. And so inner child work for me on that level is very powerful because it almost always makes me feel better, lighter, happier, and in turn raises my vibration, which makes me more on the same level of the manifestations I'm trying to make. And so I hope all of this information was helpful. I hope it inspired you to go out and just work with your inner child. Talk to her, talk to him, write a letter to her or him, and just speak and let it flow. Try not to overthink it. I know it feels weird, and if you need some guidance from me specifically, the app has everything you need. So if you need to go download Affirm It, and it has everything right there and for you. So I really, really hope this information helped you, inspired you, and thank you so much for making it to the end. And I'm just so, so grateful for your energy. So I'll talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.
So, how did you like today's episode? I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed recording it. And before you leave, I wanted to just say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for spending some time with me. If this episode or any of my content has ever inspired you, it would mean the absolute world to me if you could leave a review in the iTunes podcast app and just share this with someone you care about. The more you guys leave reviews and share this with people, the more I am able to create more content for you, and that's what fuels me and keeps me going. I am so genuinely grateful for the time we shared today, and until next time, I'm sending you lots of love and lots of healing energy. Bye!